In the quiet valleys of rural Wales, neighbors thought they knew the glamorous woman in the white Audi, always impeccably dressed, designer handbags, perfect makeup. But when police raided her rundown farm, they found half a kilo of cocaine, 17,000 pounds in cash, and a loaded semi-automatic pistol hidden in the ceiling. And that was just the beginning. This is Lynne Leyson, former carer, ice cream seller, and the godmother of a family drug empire that turned a sleepy Welsh village into what residents called the Wild West. Welcome back to True Crime Page, where we dig beneath the surface of Britain's most dangerous underworld stories, the crimes built on greed, power, and secrets worth killing for. This is the story of how an ordinary woman became a criminal mastermind and almost got away with it. If you're new here and you're drawn to unfiltered true crime stories that refuse to fade into silence, subscribe, turn on notifications, and join a community committed to uncovering the cases others would rather forget. Let's go back to where it all began. Lynne Leyson grew up in South Wales, attending Dynevor School in Swansea, the same school that produced the former Archbishop of Canterbury, Rowan Williams. Nothing in her early life suggested what was coming. She became a carer, looking after elderly and vulnerable people who needed her most. But there was a problem. Lynne was prosecuted for stealing from the very clients she was supposed to protect, the people who trusted her. She robbed them. Then she married Stephen Leyson, a man with a violent past. He had already been convicted of grievous bodily harm. She became stepmother to his son Samson, and the three of them moved into a council house in Kidwelly, Carmarthenshire. From the outside, just another family. But the neighbors, they knew something was wrong. But here's where things get strange. Before the cocaine empire, before the guns, there was an ice cream van. Stephen drove. Lynne served the customers, and neighbors say they weren't just selling ice cream. In fact, one neighbor claims the Leysons once gave them cannabis-laced cupcakes, titty, to help with pain relief after an accident. But back at the council house, things were getting worse. Inside, the Leysons kept 13 Alaskan Malamute dogs in filthy conditions. Neighbors reported constant howling and the unmistakable smell of cannabis. They complained to authorities. Nothing was done. The ice cream van was just practice, because 6 years before their arrest, the family made a move that would change everything. Pibwr Farm, very remote, and the perfect headquarters for a drug empire. The property belonged to Stephen's father, handed down to the family. But there was no farming here, just abandoned vehicles, car parts, machinery left to rot. But here's the thing. While the farm looked like a junkyard, Lynne Leyson looked like she'd stepped out of a fashion magazine. Designer clothes, impeccable hair and makeup, white Audi, living like a queen on a scrap heap. Lynne wasn't just involved in the operation. Police say she was the dominant force behind the entire thing. From that farm, the family supplied cocaine and cannabis across southwest Wales. They had a network of sub-dealers moving their product, including one dealer who went by the name Mr. Pickles. But here's how they moved the drugs. They'd use quad bikes, racing through forest trails, to quick handovers at lay-bys along the A48. In and out. No witnesses. And if anyone crossed them, they had guns, knives. The operation was sophisticated, brutal, and it might have continued for years if it wasn't for a dog named Billy. October 27th, 2021. Dyfed Powys police descended on Pibwr Farm. It was a 2-day operation following the report of another anonymous neighbor. House, sheds, storage units, caravan. Every inch of that property was about to be searched. But the real hero of the day, a sniffer dog named Billy, and Billy was very good at his job. 592 grams of cocaine. Street value, 60,200 pounds. 1.4 kilograms of cannabis. Hidden in a dog shed. Stuffed in a suitcase buried in a meadow. Scattered throughout the property. Worth over 15,000 pounds. 17,190 pounds in cash. Digital weighing scales. Covered in white powder residue, but then in a ceiling cavity. Billy found something else. A modified 9mm semi-automatic pistol, converted to fire-live ammunition. The first weapon of its kind, ever found in the Dyfed Powys area. The Leysons had an explanation, of course. The cash? They claimed it came from a house sale. The gun? They said they knew nothing about it, but the evidence said otherwise. 6 people were arrested that day, including all 3 members of the Leyson family. 18 months later, in May 2023, Lynne Leyson was convicted on all counts. Conspiracy to supply Class A drugs, conspiracy to supply Class B drugs, possessing criminal property, her husband Stephen, 11 years, her stepson Samson, 6 years. Lynne's sentencing was scheduled for July 21st, 2023. The court assembled. The prosecutors were ready. But when that date arrived, Lynne Leyson didn't show up for 429 days, for that's nearly 16 months. Lynne Leyson was one of Britain's most wanted women. The court didn't wait for her. On September 15th, 2023, she was sentenced in absentia, 9 years in prison. Her face appeared on Crime Watch. Crimestoppers offered a £1,000 reward for information. This wasn't some desperate criminal on the run. This was a woman with a plan. She changed her name by deed poll to Caldicot, bought a sailing boat, moored it at Brighton Marina. And then she assembled a disguise kit, NHS medical scrubs, a stethoscope, what appeared to be patient details. She was posing as a doctor. Consultant Lynn Bailey traveled extensively across the United Kingdom, and police monitored everything: vehicle movements, telecommunications, financial transactions, even NHS databases. Sussex police joined the search. Interpol conducted checks in Spain and Ireland. Some speculated she'd fled to Thailand, where her father owned property, or maybe Spain. Her half-brother told reporters he thought he'd never see her again. But here's the thing. She stayed mostly in the UK. For over a year, Lynne Leyson played cat and mouse with British police, changing identities, changing locations, always one step ahead, and then, after more than a year on the run, she made a fatal mistake. September 16th, 2024, Pibwr Farm, the same place where it all began. The night before, around midnight, a car had arrived at the property. Police believe Lynne returned to check on the property, maybe the dogs. But police had been waiting, and the next morning, they moved in, after 16 months on the run. Lynne Leyson was in custody. She still had the NHS disguise items with her: the scrubs, the stethoscope, the fake credentials. A 26-year-old woman was also arrested for assisting an offender. She was later released on bail. But for Lynne Leyson, the running was over, less than 24 hours after her arrest. Lynne Leyson stood before Swansea Crown Court. The charge: failing to surrender to custody. How did she plead? Guilty. Judge Catherine Richards had seen enough. The judge noted that Leyson's actions had undermined public confidence in the justice system. She'd wasted significant police resources, multiple police forces, international agencies, 16 months of investigation, all to catch one woman who thought she was above the law. Judge Richards added 2 months to her sentence. After a 1/3 discount for her guilty plea, 9 years and 2 months, to be served consecutively. As of today, she's serving that sentence. Detective Chief Inspector Rhys Jones called the capture a message to organized crime in rural areas. The entire family network is now behind bars. Stephen, 11 years. Samson, 6. Lynne, 9 years and 2 months. Lynne's case reflects a growing trend. More and more women are taking leadership roles in UK drug operations, often within family setups, just like the Leysons. The contrast is stark. Rural Wales, quiet villages, peaceful countryside, and yet organized crime had flourished there. For the community of Capel-Dewi, though, there's relief. People no longer fear looking over their shoulders. The Wild West is quiet again. From carer to ice cream seller to drug queenpin, from designer clothes and white Audis to prison scrubs and a cell. Lynne Leyson's story is a reminder that criminal empires can flourish anywhere, even in the quietest corners of Wales. As of 2026, Lynne Leyson remains in prison, her empire dismantled, and that rundown farm in Capel-Dewi, just a farm again. But the village remembers. They always will. And if you want more true crime cases like this, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications.